And we are live here on Facebook, just as I hit the record button. And welcome back to the Power of Women Making a Difference online summit, day 4. And we've got an absolutely amazing lady for you. She has been through everything. She is such a creator. She is just it's such an expert in the field that the medical profession come to her, because sometimes they say when you're in a tricky situation, you need to find out the solution for yourself, because not all the doctors know everything. And when you have been through something like our next guest has, then that to me that's simple, and she'll talk to you all about it. Who am I talking about? The wonderful, the extraordinary Tiffany Hinton. So welcome, Tiffany. I'm so blessed that you gave up your time to be with us today.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much, Brenda. This is so exciting.
It really is. I can't wait to share all all the things you're going to share with us today. And you know what? You can talk about whatever you want to talk, because it doesn't matter. Everything's a gem. Everything's a little diamond, as it says down
Oh,
here. You
awesome.
know. So let's take the next minute or two just to introduce yourself. Say who you are, where you're from, would help, and although we can hear the American accent, but and what you do and the magic that you've got.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, as Brenda said, I am Tiffany Hinton, and American accent, born and raised in the Midwest. I live in Chicago now. So, most people are familiar with Chicago. They're not necessarily familiar with everything outside of Chicago. But, and yeah, so a little bit about me. I started out as a very sick child, as I think many people who are in healthcare and wellness have in their life. Like normally you end up there because of something that has happened to you personally. And I started out super sick as a child, had a lot of abdominal issues, had a lot of stomach problems, was told I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disorder. Um, Went on medication for over 15 years, took a lot of different pharmaceutical products, and never really found my healing. I got to a point in my late 20s where I was taking about 25 different pills a day. And I was, yeah, it's crazy just to think like, and then another thing I don't always share, but on top of taking 25 pharmaceuticals a day, I was taking super high doses of pain pills and drinking because I was at that breaking point, right? Questioning
Wow.
why I was here. Like, why did God send me to earth if I was just going to lay in the bathroom and like feel horrible all the time? Ended up in the emergency room in 2007, had an emergency surgery, and found out I had not only celiac disease within 3 months of that surgery, but also stage 4 endometriosis, which there's only 5 stages. And at the 5th stage, you end up with cancer. And then also was told it wasn't IBS and irritable bowel disorder. I have Crohn's disease. And from 2007 to 2017, my life just changed, but it changed in a positive way, which I know that's kind of what my story is about in Voices of Hope. And it has evolved into a whole huge, yay, that's a new book, huge passion that I have to help women with autoimmune conditions, which are incurable diseases. You're told you have a disease in the US, that's 60 or 86% of us. I just reverse that. And where do you go knowing that there's nothing you can do, but you'll always carry this burden?
Yeah, but it's just so I've actually learned something more. I didn't realize about all that, because you didn't talk about the pills, but there's other things in this story that people need to read absolutely in Voices of Hope, because it's, yeah, you endured everything that you endured, and oh my God, you have endured a lot in terms of your medical, physical health, which obviously had an impact on your mental health, your emotional health. So really, all of you, and and that leads me in nicely to the next question, because what I want you to share with everybody is, we can kind of see why it's led you, but tell us in a bit more detail why you got to that point where you went, no, I'm going to find something different, because you refused, if I'm right, you refused to accept what the doctors told you. And you proved that 3 times, didn't you? In one way. But beyond that, um,
Yeah.
in terms of all that medication,
Yeah.
tell us how you got from the point of going enough, enough, enough,
Yeah.
to where you are today.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, 3 times now I have said to the medical profession, my God is bigger, right? The universe is bigger. You don't know what you're talking about. And I get chills saying that, because
I've
what
got
got
them.
me to
I've got
that
them.
point is I was raised very, very Christian. So if you're familiar with Americans, that Bible Belt Southern Baptist philosophy, almost like what I think of as like old school Puritan, right? That was my upbringing, from private Christian school. And then when I got super sick, I was like, again, I was questioning God. I was mad at God, and fell away from all of that. And I had that surgery in 2007. Part of my story, I talk about my family as well. And my dad had recently come back and been reunited with our family. And he sent me a book called The Purpose Driven Life.
Mm.
And I'll let people go and research that book on their own. But it's about finding your purpose, which I think is a little bit about our Voices from Hope as well, as like finding what are you supposed to do with this, and how are you providing hope to the world. And in that book, one of the things, it's a quote, it's not a verse, it's not from the Bible, but it's my God is bigger than this, right? Or a lot of people always say that they're in a storm and you're the warrior. And there's a quote around being this warrior and you controlling the storm. And at that point, I realized like nothing could be given to me that I couldn't outcome. I couldn't outdo anything that had been given to me. Like I knew that I had inner power and I had this inner strength. I just needed to use it. And so one of the things that I overcame was when I was 16, I was told that I would never have my own children. They suggested that I just face that. Again, emotional issue there. Like you just start to deny that. And I have 3 of my own children now. So first 2 through IVF, the third one, again, miracle. My fallopian tubes never connected to anything because of all of the damage and surgeries in my stomach. And so when I went in thinking I had another tumor, they told me I was in my second trimester. This was 2012. And I was like, what? That's not possible. And the doctor goes, yeah, I can see everything here. And she's looking at my charts and she's like, I know it's not physically possible. And I was like, well, why don't we just put God did this in my records?
That's a miracle.
Kind of laughed. I had a colon rupture in 2013. Again, was on an operating table awake during surgery. And they told me that I was within an hour and a half of being bled out by the time that they had found the rupture in my colon. And it's just like these miracles, I don't really have another word for it, are my life. And so me challenging the traditional system and finally finding this doctor that was Pakistani born, Eastern medicine trained. So if you think traditional Ayurvedic medicines, but also served in the US military as a medic, had that Western medicine clinical background as well, and was using fusion, was my finding of the functional medicine world. Like, how do we use plants as medicine? How do we use mindset? How do we use visual treatments? How do you use, energy and Reiki and all of these fascinating techniques that have been around thousands of years? And how do we do that to give us health? And that's,
And that took you on a journey, didn't it?
Yeah.
Took you on an incredible journey that I still don't know all of that journey, but I'm sure you can tell us a little bit of it, because you've created something around functional health, and I don't want to even try to explain it because it's your creation, it's your baby, and you speak all over on this. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I after I was diagnosed, we went on this, like I said, it's food is medicine and this whole like transformation. And I hate to call it a diet, that's just the word that the world has given it. But it's using certain foods that are like getting off of things that are inflammatory and increasing certain fruits and vegetables that are actually healing for the body. It allowed me to regrow my colon. It's allowed me to just have this. Oh yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you actually give your cells what they need. It's awesome.
How did you? Sorry, I've got to interrupt her, and I shouldn't. But this is a child and the teacher in me. But how did you know these things about these foods? Did this come from Eastern?
A little bit from Eastern medicine, a lot of it from listening to intuition. And like, you know how people meditate and you find that space and you're just like, okay, give me the next thing I need to do. And things would pop into my head and I would go and I'd research them. And I have huge library of books from everywhere, from Australia to India to, there was a doctor I found actually in the UK, Dr. Diana Mills, and I ordered a bunch of her documentation in because she dealt with women's health and fertility, and she was using food and herbs and all of this stuff to treat women's health. And I did a ton of research of what had she been doing and how do we incorporate that. And that is kind of, and that's part of that journey. And so I continue to do research. And right now I'm doing even more research on stuff around livers and just like, but your body has the ability to generate new cells. So how do you get it to regenerate the cells for the organs that need help?
That's right. I mean, we know the liver, we're very au fait with the liver regenerating and all of that. But other things, I haven't heard so much, but I'm not in the medical profession, you know, but I tell you what, this is the medical I'm waiting on. How do you grow more teeth if you lose your second teeth?
That one I don't have an answer for.
That's the one. I think that might come from like the DNA. I don't know how the liver. I'm sure that will happen one day.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Yeah.
There you go. So
I turned it into, at first, a cookbook platform. And we've got 16 books now that we've published. This book will be number 17 that I'm involved with. And I was doing anti-inflammatory recipes, developed a coaching program over 4 years ago using food as medicine. We've evolved that and we're marketing it now as a Thrive Clean coaching program. We went on this year, starting in the beginning of the year, created a Hacking Your Health live platform. We're doing meetup groups. We're doing live events. We're doing talks all across the US. I would love to come to the UK and do it.
You're coming to the UK?
Yes.
You are coming. You're right. You are coming to the UK.
It will happen.
I've said it here on there. You are coming to, you know, I'm a woman of action, don't you? And you know, if I say things are happening, they are happening. And you are reading my mind because I'm sitting here going, right, this is coming to the UK, right? I need to be helping this lady be greater than she already is. The world needs Tiffany Hinton in their life, you know. And I know other people who talk about this, but oh my God, with your story and the way you put it across, and it's just like, it's magic. It's magic. I know probably some folk will come and shoot me. They'll go,
it's Halloween here. We can use the word magic.
You know, but we've all got our genius and we've all got our uniqueness. And if it all comes together, you know, there's other people doing, oh my God, we've got so much magic, you know. And, you know, the medical profession, I might get shot down for this. Or maybe I shouldn't be saying that's in my mind. I would say it. Because somebody told me on a social media strategist, award-winning, told me never speak about certain things. I'll keep it. We'll have a private conversation. But anyway, yeah. So I'm so excited. I don't know how you can contain yourself knowing this genius, this magic, and that you are living proof of lots of, not just one thing medically, but numerous things. You know, and you know, oh my God. Absolutely amazing what you can do. We're coming to the UK. We'll be having that chat. I just wish you were here for the book launch. I know it's not possible because it's Thanksgiving and everything in America at that time, and I do know, but there will be opportunity. And I'm coming to America. That's for sure. So we've just got to get the day organized. We really need to do that. So maybe by next week we'll get all the American ladies together and plan that out.
So we can talk about. Yeah.
We can talk about that. And then when you're coming here, I'll be on that shortly, let me tell you. So what do your clients come to you for?
They come to me normally after they've been diagnosed with something that has no cure. They come to me because they want their life back. They come because they want their energy. They want to be able to travel. They want to play with their grandkids. They want to just be a mom and not lay in bed or lay on the couch and feel like they can't participate in family.
And is it all sorts of things, like from,
everything?
diabetes?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Diabetes, fibromyalgia, MS.
Yep.
I've worked with anorexic people. I've worked with women with celiac disease, chronic pain issues.
Oh my God.
All of it. And they leave. And I hate to say they leave because they never really leave, but we get them to where they're in maintenance mode. They have energy. Most of them look younger because your skin heals when your body heals. They lose weight, which is not something I advertise, but happens. And they have this energy and this vibrance, and they radiate. Like, you just see like their spirit comes back to them.
Oh my goodness. I think, how many conversations have I done? I've done, so that's like 18, 19, 20. I've done 20, I think 21st. And really, I feel really emotional because of that transformation and that energy and that joy. I think one or two others got me near to tears as well. But this is just like, oh my goodness, I'm speechless, which is not very often, but I'm going to think very carefully how to express what I'm feeling before I say it, because it needs that amount of care, actually. So they come to you and they've been told, oh, you just go and take these pills or whatever, and they hear about Tiffany Hinton, and what kind of thing might you do with them?
First of all, we figure out, what do they want, right? If I was the magic genie or the fairy godmother or whatever that character is from their childhood, who made their wishes come true, what are those wishes and why? Like, so if you want to be pain-free, let's take, for instance, I'm going to use Janelle, a lady I worked with who had a child, and because of the extra weight had plantar fasciitis, and the tendons in her feet had stretched to where it's painful, right? And so her first thing was, I have a 2-year-old and I just want to be able to take him to the park, and I want to be able to walk, and I don't want to hurt, and I want to be able to wear heels when I go out with the girls. And I was like, we can make this happen again. You don't have to wear the grandma shoes. She wasn't even 30, which is nuts. And so we work on, what do you want and what's he going to give you when you have it? And for her, it was going to give her freedom and that mothering and that ability to feel sexy again in her shoes. And which is, we laugh, but for some people,
no, I'm not laughing. I'm because right? We want to, even getting older, you're keeping the heels as long as we can.
Yes. And so, and then once we kind of know, what do you want? I'm gonna take a drink of water. We go to, what is he going to give you? And then if it doesn't happen, we still have to look at, like, what is that bad place? If it never happened, what happens instead, right? Because you have to have, I love the Wizard of Oz for this. We have to have the magic castle of where we're going in our dreams, but we also have to know, if we're the witch in the striped socks, what is that? Is it death? In some diseases it is. Is it living on pharmaceuticals? Is it never being able to pick up a child because you can't lift? What is that? And then, because that's your motivation of not getting there. And then we start to work on, based on the disease, based on the component, based on your current nutrients. So we run some blood work. We want to look at, what are your levels of your nutrients, your vitamins, and then what are those foods, those therapeutic foods that need to go into your day, and how do we do it without disruption? And then we give them time.
Simple. And do you know what? Everything is simple. And I am fascinated now about the foods, and I know, I don't think you've mentioned this yet, but I think from reading your story, one of the things is it looking at root causes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's why you take the bloods and things. Am I right? Yes. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, you are.
So, and quite often, I was speaking about this to somebody else yesterday, and it was like, you go to the doctor and you go, I've got a sore back. and they go, okay, here, take that and come back in a week if it doesn't go. But they don't even begin to say, why do you have a sore back? Oh, I know who it was. It was Jenny Russell, who was on Monday, because she does a lot about, she works with the pelvic floor. And
Okay.
she works with that, but it's
Yeah.
more than the pelvic floor, it's the brain, it's how everything. And she said that, people will go to a doctor, they've got a pain, and just where your back begins to arch in there, and they say, oh, it's strain or whatever, and they don't look. But she says there's questions that they should be asking. If they're a good doctor, there's certain questions, because the pain in the back might not be muscular or anything,
Right.
skeletal. It can be an underlying something else that's going on in one of the organs, their colon or anything. But as soon as someone says they've got a sore back, they just think it's muscular. So there is absolutely gold and or diamond dust, as I say, in asking the right questions. And it is about getting to the root cause, which there's not the time or whatever. I don't know what the reason is here in the UK. Don't know if they're better at it in America, but I know they're pretty good at it in Dubai, because if you go to a doctor in Dubai, you get every test going. They will find out what's going on. But again, they're not looking holistically and looking at alternatives. It is still coming from a medical. But, so it depends where you are, what they look. But I think looking at the root cause is absolutely crucial.
Huge.
Huge.
Most of the inflammatory conditions have to do with something in your environment. And if we can find the trigger, whether it's the water, the chemicals, the soil, the food, whatever that trigger is for your inflammatory condition, the condition puts itself in remission in like less than a year.
Right, say that again. I'm a bit like,
oh.
So do you do a blood? How do you find out which element it is?
Most of the time it's blood work. Sometimes it's stool samples. Sometimes, saliva. It just depends. And
so is it like osmosis, the environment and stuff get into your system through what you're breathing? There's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of that. Yeah. So if let's say for instance, you have, so I'll use somebody I know that I've been working with as an example. This woman is in her 60s. And you were talking about the back, and I thought about her because she's been having a lot of back pain, and she's been having and she's been to the chiropractor, and he's like, you're perfectly aligned. There's nothing there. And this woman's in her 60s, and she had mono and still carries the mono virus in her liver, because once you have mono, you still carry it.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that ever.
Okay. So mono, a lot of people call it the kissing disease.
Oh,
anyway,
that
makes you super tired. It's a virus.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, she's had this 40 plus years ago, but her body still carried a bit of it, and it got reactivated within the last 6 months. And the blood testing she went for showed that it had reactivated, and that virus was attacking her spine. And so we're working on how are we going to treat the spine with the virus, right? So antiviral, when you think about medications and things, antiviral can be oregano, it can be tea, it can be licorice root, it can be like, there's so many things you can do holistically from an antiviral. And I saw her Monday night. I went over, she messaged me, and I actually went to her house, and she's like, I feel great. I'm sleeping better. It's slowly getting better. But now that she knows like what the cause is, it's no longer a mystery. So that's even that relief in your head of like, why can't anybody figure this out?
Yeah, peace of mind, isn't it? Yes. It's peace of mind. Oh, absolutely, totally magical. I love that. So, so we can see how you're creating change. You're by going in by inquiry, by the blood test. So, oh my goodness, I'm like, I shouldn't be getting like this. I'm asking the questions here, but I'm just like, it's like a medical, everybody needs to know this, and to know that it's as simple as looking at foods. Is supplements part of it as well?
They are if you're deficient. So if, for instance, you run your nutrient density testing and you come back and you're deficient in vitamin A, or you're deficient in magnesium, or you're deficient in zinc, those help us determine whether you need to eat more asparagus or you need more Brussels sprouts, or maybe you need some blueberries.
So it's always food.
For me, yeah. And then if you can't
Do you know
raise
what?
your
I love
numbers
that
with
because
food, then we can take a vitamin. But I never go to the vitamin first.
do you know what? I love that because I don't take medication. I am blessed. I don't get pain, so I don't need to go for paracetamol or anything. But I don't take medication. I can't swallow anything. And the fact now that I'm so aware that if I have anything, I can then go and look at the foods and help. I mean, I've known foods have helped people cure themselves from cancer, even stage 4 cancer.
Yep.
I know a lawyer who was told, that's it, and he cured himself. He's got himself in remission and stays healthy and travels and practices his law. But he's into all this food, he's into a healthier lifestyle. So there's evidence out there that food and different things, different herbs, and can actually turn things around. But we are so brainwashed into thinking, I'm sick, I'll go to the doctor, give me a pill. We actually go to the doctor looking for a pill.
Yeah.
Whereas
because it's easy.
It's easy. Yeah, because it's easy.
Easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Whereas if we clone you and there's more of you talking about all this stuff, the pharmaceutical companies won't like it.
They will not. Well, they might have to package some food as pills.
Yeah, well, that's it. I remember my sister used to say, oh, I hate eating. She would say, right, I can't wait till they just give you a pill with your 3-course meal. I don't know. Food's social. I do like eating food. Okay, so here's a question I would like you to answer. I don't even know if you can do this because I think it's so particular. But, okay, I know how I can ask you it. What, in your expert opinion, are the 3 superfoods we should all eat?
In my opinion,
in your expert, it's not your opinion. I'll rephrase it. What in your expertise, because you are an expert, okay? Yeah. What in your expertise are the 3 superfoods that we should eat?
Okay, that I can answer. I actually do a whole keynote on 3 things you need to eat every day. So, fermented foods that have been naturally fermented that have live bacteria in them. So your kombuchas, your kimchis, your fermented pickles, peppers, all of that stuff, not the ones with vinegar, but the actual real world fermenting that you would do traditionally.
Where would you buy these from?
You can get them at local markets. Here in the US, you have to go to like a European deli or somewhere to get them, or I ferment at home.
Ooh, there's a whole new thing I need
in a glass jar or a crock. It's really easy to do at home.
But they're not in vinegar.
Not in vinegar.
What do you ferment them in then?
A brine, like a salt and water.
Oh, salt and water, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look out for that.
So fermented because your body needs the bacteria. The second thing I would tell you is you need some sort of bone broth or seaweed broth because we need the minerals from the bones and the seaweed and the glucosamine in order for our bodies to be able to regenerate and heal our cell structures.
So would that be like a knee bone from the butcher or something?
Yeah, like yeah. Or if you roast the chicken, you save the chicken bones and you cook them back down with vegetables and make like a soup or a broth.
Oh wow! I love soup.
Yeah,
bone broth, right? I'm on it.
Okay, so fermented foods, bone broth, and then the third one that you need is raw vegetables.
Is what?
Raw vegetables.
Oh, raw vegetables.
As a woman, we need 6 cups of raw vegetables a day, and as a man, you need 9 cups a day to get all of the micronutrients your body needs without a vitamin.
Oh my God, we're not eating anywhere near that. Yeah. Oh my God, oh my God. How big is this? Would this be 2 cups a mug?
Yeah. The other thing that people
just a small cup, like a teacup?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. People will take and juice or do a smoothie, and they'll get 4 cups in like that drink.
Oh, so you can do it that way?
You can do it that way, and then you have a side salad with 2 of your meals, and you've got your 6 cups for a woman.
So if you found a smoothie that you liked with what you needed in it, so something like, say, would a green smoothie be good, like with
Green
kale?
smoothie would be great with the spinach and the celery and the cucumbers and the lemon and a green apple and maybe some parsley and pineapple.
Oh my God, I'm buying one of your books. I'm buying all your books. I think, well, I'll be buying what I need. Absolutely.
I think I sent you guys like a
I'm
link
actually a
to
bit,
get somewhere
sorry?
too, right? Did I send you a link to share as a gift on the summit? Because there's recipes in there.
I've just seen something just before we come on, so I'll be making sure I
You share that.
share that, absolutely. Do you know what? It's actually, and you know me, I'm truthful. I just speak the truth, whether it's right or wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's my truth. And my truth is, I'm really lucky and blessed and privileged to be able to speak, because I get to ask questions that I want to know the answer to, never mind for everybody else. But I'm sure because I want to know it, I'm sure half the people here will be wanting to know it. In fact, most of the people will be wanting to know it. So that's good. So ferment, I don't know so much about the fermenting, but the broth I do and the vegetables I do. And I'm now going to find the smoothie that I like, that I can make every day, because now I'm on to my six cups a day, and I'll be telling David 9 so he can have 2 smoothies a day. So, and is it mainly does it come mainly from vegetables? What about fruits?
Fruits are really good, but I honestly believe you need 50% vegetables and 25% fruit.
50%. And what's the other 25%?
Your proteins and your fats and your oils.
Oh, okay.
And you really need no grain. I mean, if you have grain, it should always be just because you're still hungry.
Yeah, and it's the days when I don't eat the grain, I feel better because I'm A positive blood type. So there's certain, so I am definitely a fruit veg person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Seeds, but not so much grain. I'm not so keen on that. So that's another thing. If you know your blood type, that can help you as well. Because I know the days where I just have my salads and eat nice, clean eating. I feel amazing. I've got more energy than when you clog yourself up with those heavier foods.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll tell you, I'll be listening back to this. I've been needing to write this down because auditory memory is not the best. But I do need to go and research fermenting because I don't know. I'm not really. I can't go. I know what you're talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do I buy? What do I make? What do I make?
Look at stuff coming out of Poland, Polish food. A lot of their recipes, a lot of their just traditional stuff is fermented.
Oh, Polish food. So that's another Polish cookbook then. That's another one. Okay. So, oh my goodness, do you know what? I could talk to you all day long. So, but I know your time's precious. So I've got one last question for you. And it's so this is all about the power of women and making a difference. Oh my God, you're not just making a difference to your own life and the people in America. We want you to be making a difference worldwide with what your knowledge, your expertise, and what you've discovered and what you've proven by the results that you've got personally and the results of the people. So what I want to know as what's your superpower to the secret to your success?
My superpower. Oh my gosh. It's honestly, my superpower is my empathy. And it's a scary thing to have as a superpower because I can absorb more than I can give, which can drain me personally.
Yeah.
But that empathy allows me not just to listen to what I hear, but to actually listen to the person and the way that they're talking and what is underneath that is not being necessarily spoken.
That's right. It's about, sometimes it's what people aren't saying that gives us the loudest message rather than the words, particularly when you're an energy healer and you read energy and you feel energy, it's like some people say things and you know what they mean and it's not the words coming out of the mouth and you just smile wryly and you think, well, you know what, if you want to, that's your prerogative, but you know what, speak your truth always. I'd rather somebody say to me, no, Brenda, I'm not coming tonight because do you know what, I'm tired and I just can't be bothered. I'd rather hear somebody say, I can't be bothered, I'm not interested, than somebody say, okay, I'll try and get there, because we all know what that means.
So I want the same I'll give you one last thing.
Well, I was just about to say, give us one last thing to
Yeah,
close
so
away.
when people ask you how you are, never say you're fine,
No.
because fine is nowhere to live. It's okay to be sick. It's okay to be tired. You can say I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but you want to be well. The more that you say I'm well, I'm well, I'm well, your mind believes it and your body will heal.
Yeah, I know, it's fascinating. Well, I'm definitely getting you back at another time outside of this summit to come and speak, and we'll definitely be speaking because we are about to hit 2020 with Tiffany Hinton here in the UK. People need to hear you, see you, and have access. So we will definitely be talking about that. That's for sure.
Fabulous,
So,
fabulous.
Tiffany, thank you so much. I'm so
Thank you,
blessed.
Brenda.
I'm so. I don't even know how you came into my life. I can't remember. Can you remember?
Oh, I do remember
Do
Miss
you?
Phyllis. Yeah, who is also a co-author with us.
Oh yes, that's right,
Yeah.
Phyllis. That's right.
Yeah.
Do you know? You meet so many people, and it's so serendipitous, and that sometimes you think, well, you know, it's magical anyway. But I'm so blessed that you did. Yes, it's Phyllis. I remember now. And the fact that it's Chicago, it's got to be Phyllis. You know, because anybody that's in the book from Chicago, I've come through Phyllis, you know. So anyway, Tiffany, thank you. I'll let you go on with your day because what time
Thank
is
you,
it
Brenda.
there in America just now?
About 9:45.
A quarter to 10. So thank you very much, and I
Thank
hope
you,
you have a
thank you.
wonderful day. Thank you, and I can't wait to speak to you again. Much love, darling. Bye bye. Oops.